Do you want your Bustier blouse to stand perfectly without collapsing? Then you are in the right place. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you the complete step-by-step process of drafting to the final stitch. So let's get started. So let's draft our pattern. Okay, so we've drawn all the lines. We placed our tape from -6, and then from that point to the next point is 11 inches, the bust point, the under bust 15, the true waist length 18, the full length of the blouse 27, plus 2 inches for bust dart alteration. Next, the other line you are seeing there, the center line, is the bust span measurement or the nipple to nipple measurement. Okay, so now we are going to take our measurement. For us to start, we are going to start with the contouring of the upper part. Okay, so see the way I placed my tape from point 1 at that middle part. I took 1.5 and then 1 inch. So I'm going to use my marker to mark it very well, 1.5 and 1 inch. So next, before we connect it, I am going to come up from the bust point. Okay, I will come up by 1 inch and I will go down by 1 inch. So I'm going to place my tape at that point. I will come up by 1 inch and then I will mark 1 inch at the down part. Now I'm going to make my connection with my armhole curve, connecting that 1 inch to the 1 inch I came up by. I will do the same for this 1.5. I am going to connect it to that point. Okay, so next I am going to contour the under bust. So at the under bust, at the middle part, I'm going to take 1 inch, while at the side part I'm going to take 1/3. So 1 inch for the center and 1/3 for the other side. So I'm going to use my armhole curve to connect it just the way I am doing it. Make yours in that pattern as well. Okay, so after connecting it, the next thing I'm going to do is to pick up my ruler, my pattern master. I'm going to slant it towards the center line. Okay, so I'm just going to place my ruler. See the way I placed it. I will place it in such a way that it will not have any gaping. Okay, so I will connect it to the tip of the blouse. So I will do the same for this other part. I'm going to place it well and then I'm going to mark it all the way down. So after marking, the next thing we are going to do is for us to take our measurements. So next we are going to impute the point of the fixing of the sleeve at the point where we are going to fix our sleeve. So when we measure that remaining part after contouring, we got 3/1/4. So see what I did. I'll place my tape at the point of 3/1/4. Now we are fixing our sleeve at the point of 9 inches. So 9 divided by 2 will give us 4.5, which I marked. Okay, so after marking, I'm going to check what we used to contour. We contoured with 2.5. We contoured with 2 inches. So plus half an inch seam allowance will give us 2.5. So after that, I had to mark it. So on that line, I'm going to place my tape from -6, and then I'm going to take the armhole measurement of 9 inches. So that 9 inches I marked, I'm going to connect it to the upper part. Okay, so see what I'm doing. I'm going to connect it at that point. So the next thing we are going to do is to take our bust circumference. Now your bust measurement divide by 4, whatever you get, mark it at that point. So the bust circumference I'm working with is 11.5. So I am going to mark 11.5. After marking 11.5, I am going to replace what we contoured, which is 2.5 inches. Okay, so I will add it up. The next thing is to divide my under bust circumference by 4, and then I'm going to mark it, and then I'm going to add my seam allowance. So after dividing the under bust circumference, we got 9/1/4. Then we are going to check what we contoured, which is 2/3. We are going to replace it by marking it, and then we are going to add our 2 inches seam allowance. So next we are going to go to the true waist. So the true waist circumference, after dividing, we got 11.1/4. I'm going to mark it. After marking 11.1/4, I'm going to check what we contoured at that point. We have 2 inches. We are going to add it up and mark, plus the 2 inches seam allowance. So next we are going to take the hip circumference. After dividing, we got 13 inches. We are going to mark 13 inches and then add only 2 inches seam allowance, all right, because the contouring did not affect that down part. So the next thing I'm going to do is to use my ruler to connect all the dots. So after connecting all the dots, I realized that the shape was looking somehow funny. Don't worry about it, okay? So it's because of the contouring. So at the bust area, we did not add the seam allowance. So I'm adding 2 inches seam allowance and then I'm going to connect it. So after connecting it, the next thing we are going to do now is for us to contour our bust dart. Okay, we are going to impute our bust dart. Now for you to get your bust dart measurement, we are using the difference between your true waist length for the front and that of the true waist length for the back, which we have as 2 inches. So from that bust line, see what I'm doing? I'm marking 2 inches. After marking the 2 inches, I'm going to use my ruler to connect it to the bust area. Just see the way I did it. So we are done. It is time for us to cut what we have all out. So guys, I have an exciting news for you because I'm preparing a complete online sewing class where I will teach fashion design step by step from scratch. So if you've been wanting to learn with me in a structured way, it's coming very soon. So I'll oblige you to stay tuned as I continue to share the details with you. So it is time for us now to draft the back panel. Okay, so we've drawn all the lines. So that line is 1.5, which is our zipper allowance line. So we placed our tape from -6 to 15.5 and then 27 inches, which is the length of the blouse. Okay, so next we are going to take the fixing of sleeve after sewing, the point at which we are going to fix our sleeve, which is 9 divided by 2, which gives us 4.5 plus half, which gives us 5. So I marked it. Now I'm going to place my tape from -6. I'm going to mark 9 inches. So I'm going to connect that 9 inches to the point of 5 inches, which is the wideness of the neck. Okay, so next we are now going to do our zipper bulge alteration of 1 inch. At that true waistline, we are going to slant our ruler and then we are going to connect it upwards. Then we are going to connect it downwards as well. So next we are going to take our zipper allowance proper now by marking 1.5 1.5 all the way up to the other part. Okay, so we'll go down again and we are going to mark 1.5 1.5 and then we are going to connect all those dots. So after connecting all those dots, the next thing we are going to do is to take our body measurements. This time the measurement we are taking it, okay, from the new zipper allowance line. So now we are going to impute the bust circumference. The bust divided by 4, we are going to mark 11.5. After marking 11.5, we are going to add our seam allowance of 2 inches. Next, the true waistline, we are going to mark 9 1/4. We are going to impute the 9 1/4. After marking, we are going to add our seam allowance. Next, we are going to go to the hip area. We are marking 13 inches. After dividing by 4, we are now going to impute the seam allowance. Next, we are going to connect all the dots. So next I'm going to place my tape at that starting point and I'm going to come down by half an inch. I'm going to use my pattern master to connect it. So we are done marking. It is time for us to cut what we have all out. After cutting what we have out, we are going to place our pattern on our fabric and then we are going to cut it out. So enjoy the process. So we are using a lace fabric for the blouse, so we've placed it on fold and then placed our pattern and pinned it. So we cut the center out and the side just the way you see it on the screen. So we are done cutting for the lace fabric. So next we are going to remove this and then fold our lace fabric and place it on fold again, and then after which we are going to place our pattern on it. So I have placed the pattern on top of the lace fabric. I'm going to pin it and then cut exactly what I have out. So after cutting the lace fabric, I'm going to fold my bridal satin just as shown, and then I'm going to cut it all out. So next we are going to fold our remaining fabric to cut the sleeve. Okay, so I folded it into 4 and then drew a straight line. So I'm going to take the wideness at that point, the shoulder part of 5 inches, and then I'm going to use my tape to measure the armhole for the back. I got 10 inches. So from that point of 5 inches I marked, I'm going to slant my tape. I'm going to mark 10 inches and then I'm going to draw a slanted line. So next I am going to take the full length of the blouse, which is about 12 inches. So the circumference I'm working with is 8.5. So I'm going to mark 8.5. After marking 8.5, I'm going to add 1.5 inch seam allowance. Okay, so after marking it, I'm going to connect it to that point of 10 that we slanted. So I'm going to cross check the upper part for our upper arm, which is about 17 inches divided by 2. I found out that it was enough. So it is time for me to cut what I have out. So after cutting the sleeve, the next thing we are going to do is to fold our fabric, place our fabric, bridal satin fabric on fold, and then we are going to cut the bridal for the main blouse, just the way we did for the lace. So next, place your bridal, okay, unfold and then place your pattern on it as shown on the screen, and then cut exactly what you have. So we are cutting for the back panel first of all. So after that we are going to cut for the front panel. Okay, so I don't want this video to be too long. We are going to make a part 2 of this video. So if you want me to make the part 2 of this video, please put it in the comment section for me to upload the part 2 of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like, share and subscribe for more easy sewing tutorials. Let me know in the comment section what you would like to learn next. Click on the next video on your screen to keep sewing with me. See you in the next tutorial. I am Lois, Addah.